Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is your host, Viola Edwards. Radio Works World. We are all over the world, and today I'm so thrilled, so happy to be with my dear friend. I didn't see her for some months.
Viola. It's a long time.
Long time, and we are in Cyprus, sunny Cyprus. And here I am with Patricia Torres, Patricia Elizabeth Torres.
Yes, Mexican.
And so prepare yourself, find a very nice, good chair and a good drink, and because we're gonna be some minutes together to enjoy Patricia's talk. Hello, Patricia.
Hello, my dear Viola.
So Patricia is from Mexico, and I'm from Venezuela, as you know.
So we are Latin Americans.
We are Latin Americans here in Cyprus. Patricia, your beginning is a psychoanalysis and then anthropology. How is it that you become the dancer, the ethnic dancer you are today? Tell us about your background.
The ethnic dancer.
First of all, with my love for psychology and psychotherapy and analysis, tell me, how is it that you decide to be a psychoanalyst?
Well, the first time I was invited to attend the seminar on dance and medicine in Mexico, I realized how important it was for dancers to have a career after their active years, not only on performing, but also being, of help with their background for rehabilitating children, rehabilitating elders, rehabilitating in general, the public who was interested in having a physical, mental, and emotional health balance, especially in this day and time where we are facing, one of the most dangerous things, which is stress and depression. The W.O.R.K.S. keeps telling us that we have to help, worldwide in order to prevent people, wherever they are, to become depressed and avoid living in such a stress that they get all kinds of diseases. 97% of the illnesses are due to stress, emotional situations.
Yes. So how many years you've been in psychoanalysis before you engage with dancing as you do it?
Well, as I tell you, since 1980, I started researching everything about dance and how it was applied in ancient times as a way of life. So I went to all the cultures, and I went to Japan, India, China, Latin America, and I discovered that the Mexican culture had a special treatment or a special way of life, teaching their communities to live in peace and harmony with everything surrounding us, and also to be aware of our emotional states that would provoke that we live in fear, or we live in anger, or we live in sadness, especially in our modern times.
And this is how you started?
That's how I started. I started researching first about the differences between the European mentality of the conquerors, of the Spaniards, and the indigenous communities, which could never come together. They were always fighting because, for example, for us, the snake is the symbol of energy, manifestations of energy surrounding us. So one of the most beautiful sculptures that we have at the Anthropological Museum is Coatlicue, which means all the energy surrounding the earth, and there are thousands of snakes. And then we have 4 hands, meaning that on the 4 cardinal points we are all the same. We are also surrounded by these energies, and the duality of these energies. Duality in the sense that fear is good and is bad, anger is fear and is bad, and everything has this duality, So we have to be centered in such a way that either or. We must acknowledge, for example, sadness when we have to be sorrowful for something, but it's a short time. If we permanently live in anger or sadness or fear, we will get sick.
Exactly. So when we are in sorrow, I understand very well. I lost my mom last year, and and me and my sister, that we both are psychotherapists, and my mother was mother and father, and because we lost father many years ago, and that was such a loss. But because we were so aligned and enjoying life, and because we spent with her especially in the last 15 years, we were like such in a harmony and joy and gratitude of life. We kind of miss her, but at the same time, it was obvious that our grieving was different.
Definitely.
Because we felt the loss, but we didn't lose the self.
Exactly.
And we also every time we miss her a lot, we remember the way how she left in her sleep, in her bed, and that gives us more of a blessing of such a way of departed. But through the time that is happening, this sorrow sometimes it comes like in a wave of grief and missing that being.
Natural.
That's very normal, of course. But then it doesn't trap me. It doesn't take me away from life.
Exactly.
This is what you're.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
like,
it is not suppressing or controlling. It is acknowledging the energy that such emotions bring to us, because it's a treasure. It's a treasure to be able to feel.
Yes.
To feel anger, to feel sadness, to feel fear. That saves our lives. But if you are trapped in the past or in the future, and you cannot live the eternal present, as we call it in the Mexican culture, to ask permission to dance, you ask permission to acknowledge everything that is surrounding you. And you ask permission to be with yourself, with your inner self, acknowledging whatever state of mind, whatever state of emotion you are in that present moment. And then, be really present. I am really present here, enjoying your regard, enjoying the atmosphere, enjoying the warm weather. But at the same time, I am acknowledging the joy that I have of seeing you again, the joy I feel of coming back to Cyprus, all these things, that are outside and inside at the same time. And so I don't let myself go into the past, regretting what I do not have anymore, or planning for the future, because today is what everything I have. So if I want to have something in the future, I do it today.
Yes.
And that is already creating a healthy atmosphere. My mind is present. I am conscious. I am aware of everything I do and of everything I inhale and I exhale. And these, what they call them now shamanic dances, are a very empowering tool for human beings to leave their footprints, consciously, because every step we give in life is a footprint that we leave inside ourselves and outside. And I think this use of ritual dancing, of ancient dances, as a therapeutic and as a pedagogical use has been most useful in my past 20 years of practice. And I was lucky enough to have the recognition of UNESCO through the International Dance Council, of which I am member of the scientific committee. And in this way, I am always researching and finding, more and more about the application and the use of dance as therapy.
So how do you say in Spanish that we're asking the permission to leave our footprint? How do you ask permission before we dance?
Well, we call it dejando huella, leaving a footprint. And what does that mean? It means that we have to be conscious of everything surrounding us. So we open ourselves, we open our hearts to whatever is surrounding us. It can be the traffic, it can be, the metro, it can be the airport, it can be wherever you are. You have to be present with the outside, but present with the inside. Not let, the future pull you. Oh, I am in a hurry and I want everybody to hurry. Oh, I need this and I want everybody to give it to me. No, I am responsible for what I do. And so in the past, maybe I had negative or positive messages from my parents, from my religion, from education, from society, from the political situation, that should not be influencing me now. And I also, in this way, I am able to think, feel, and do and say something more congruently that if I am, thinking of the past or thinking of the future.
Isn't it beautiful? And all that you can go through it through Patricia's talk, but through Patricia's movement.
Yes.
I will do my best to annex to this interview some of the videos that we have about Patricia. If not, I'm gonna do another one so you can see how does it work. Now, Patricia is, as you can perceive from her speech, is ageless. Like me, we are ageless. Yeah, we passed that time of being before 30, after 40, before 50, after 50. It's kind of what I describe it is instead of aging, is getting greater honorably. Isn't it, Patricia?
Well, darling, as I would see it, we have several ages.
Yes.
We have chronological age that many people are interested. I don't know why. We have psychological age. We also have historical age. And, in the indigenous communities, after you are 52 years of age, they call you grandmother.
Yes.
Because at 52 years of age, you are reborn. Because the constellations of the day when you were born come exactly in the same place. So you will be inhaling all that energy that you inhaled when you were newly born. But now at 52, you have all the experience. So immediately you become a grandmother, but at the same time you are young. So at 52 years of age, we are renewed, we are newly born, and we have the experience. And one of the most important symbols in the Mexican culture are the eagles. The eagles, when they age, they themselves transform. They go high in the mountains, they find a safe place for them. They take their claws, out. They take their beak out and then wait for their claws to come back again and be curved, and also his beak. And they are able to hunt again with all the experience that they had as young as elder eagles. So that's why at 52 we are considered elders. We are considered wise women and men that can be a model of life for other people. Because in our contemporary society, many parents say to the children, don't smoke, and they smoke, don't lie, and they lie, don't do this, and they do it. While in the indigenous community, you must give example of what you are talking, what you are preaching.
Yes.
And the dance is one of the most important tools for you to be conscious of what you are doing.
So we are all this grandmother dancing around, you see?
Yes.
Yeah?
So we are young, darling. We are very young.
We are. You have to see her dancing or talking like we do now. So I know there is no regret, but if you would regret, there is anything you would regret?
Actually, no, because I live in the eternal present.
Yeah.
And in the eternal present, whatever I need, whatever I want, whatever is my wish, I can accomplish it. Because there is nothing that could really prevent me from living in the here and the now.
Yes. So no regret.
No regret.
Because whatever we went through is part of our experience.
Exactly. And, everything has the good and the bad. And as we say, the wind came and left traces on the sand. So, we have good and bad moments, but the good moments prevail over the bad moments.
Yeah.
And if not, we can always blow more and we erase all the bad thoughts.
Yeah. So what are your next projects? Where are you going next?
Well, you see, I have been combining anthropology and psychoanalysis. I have been combining also dance, medicine, and now Mexico has given to the world over 2,000 plants for allopathy. So we have an ethnobotanical garden in Mexico, and Netzahualcoyotl, who lived from 1402 to 1472, left us a great inheritance on what is now very, very actual. Contemporary society is going back to organic, is going back to healthy breathing, is going back to exercise instead of pills, is going back to all these things. And in our school, in our ethnobotanical school, we not only acknowledge the ancient wisdom of any indigenous man or woman who know the use of these plants, but we teach, the modern generations to use the plants. We have eating plants, we have aromatherapy plants, we have decoration plants, medicinal plants, and so we are enabling worldwide to protect this important knowledge, especially in food, especially in mixing things, and going away from all these chemical things that we have been eating and make us older and unhappy.
Yeah, yeah. So, when you said I'm mixing psychoanalysis, anthropology, and dancing, do you still see patients or clients?
Oh yes, of course.
Individual, group, couple?
Yes. I have individual, I have group therapy, and I have also couples. I do. Half of my time is devoted to private consultation, and half of my time is devoted to teaching at the university, giving lectures, traveling all over the world.
So what will be, I have a program that is developing more and more, and I'm taking it around, which is the Feminine Capital. Feminine Capital Wave, I call it, and Feminine Capital Wave has two major pillars. One of them is the Feminine Capital Rhythm. If you're honored,
very important.
Because each person has a rhythm, and in that program I work with women and men to break free from whatever is still a restraint in our life, and for men to break free from cultural judgments and be able to meet as peers, equal as peers in life, and in order to create a more sustainable society. So what I mean by feminine capital is that our femininity is a huge capital that we have, and through our struggle since the 60s maybe to become and to have equal rights, we have unconsciously sacrificed that beautiful capital. And many women live I was one of them, more in the dark side of the masculine, because this is the way how we learn, this is the way how we manage to fight our way through. And unfortunately, some of us get trapped there. So we go into threat, we go into anger, we go into, of course, as we talked before, anger is a wonderful, passionate way to express something. But when we get trapped into anger and fear, and the way how we use, and we see a lot of bullying from woman to woman when we are in higher state, etc. So what is my work is to go around and say, look, we're empowered. We have proved to the world and to ourselves that we can do whatever we want. We're having more and more rights, and let's go back to our femininity from that point of empowerment and keep going and honoring the man also. Man is not our enemy. Man is our companion. So this is the way how I'm working. So what's your advice for women?
Well, you see, we come from Latin countries, and of course in Latin countries we are used to the macho power. We are used that, and even trained to believe that men are superior. And I was fortunate enough to study at the German school, where since little girl I learned that men and women have equal values. And then when I come to these indigenous communities where men and women are equally necessary, and when, even in education, in science, in politics, there is always the man and the woman. See? They don't necessarily have to be a couple, but it has to be like, for example, a woman ruler has to have also a masculine ruler. So the two are ruling together It's not only that it is only one woman president or one man president. No, they have to be the two, because the
feminine
two
and the masculine balance.
exactly, because men have different views, women have different views, and combined, it's a perfect unity. And so we call that unity. This unity is very important, and we see it in the dance. When in our dances, men and women always dance together, the children, the old people, and this community is very important because, we have to be able to share with the younger generation. They have to be able to have a model, a pattern to follow. And it's nice to see all men and all women dancing together and the children watching that it is possible. Of course, the children are limited in their knowledge because they are imitating, they are repeating, and they will repeat the patterns if we don't change them. And in this way, so we have young men who can do spectacular dances, but always, in harmony with the older men who have the wisdom and who have also something to give to young generations. And this is like one of the things that the Spaniards could never understand, that from one day to the other, entire villages would be abandoned. And they did not know how, because there were no drought, there was no disease, but from one day to the other, they moved to another place. And this is, as I tell you, because when you are 52 years of age and you are the ruler, or you are the best architect, or you are the best engineer or painter or whatever is your profession, and you decide that at 52 years of age, you decide you want to start all over again. Imagine the power, imagine the intelligence, the nobility, the generosity, and the love that those people could influence in their subjects so that everybody went with them. They didn't ask anybody to come. No, on the contrary, they decided they wanted to start all over again, and the whole community decided to go with them. That would be fantastic to have now in our politicians, that you have such wonderful rulers that you would be able to go with them to the end of the world. And that is something which is very precious in the indigenous communities. This knowledge, this wisdom to be a pattern of life, to show the others how to live in peace, in harmony, science and technology together, ecology, exactly, art, dance, music, all that is part of the human development. So I think it has to come together, especially, men and women dancing together, making music together, painting together, and it is absolutely beautiful. For us, there is no separation. If you see in our museum, we have exactly the same number of feminine and masculine sculptures. There is no such a thing as the male superiority or the feminine superiority. No, it was unity. We need, men are the givers of the breath of life, and women are the ones who carry life. So one without the other is nothing. So we and indigenous communities have this very in our bone structure. We know, and we don't compete with each other. Yeah. And you can see that in the dance. Unfortunately, in contemporary times, men don't want to dance. They refuse to dance because they are afraid of criticism, they are afraid of comparison, and there we start, with this imbalance. While if we learn to dance together, it will have a different rhythm, and we will be making a better society.
I know, because I'm married with a man who loves to dance.
Very important.
And the other thing about the man I'm married with is that he had a huge change in his life when he was over 50, and we changed. We go to another, to your relationship, to change countries, change work. So I can understand what Patricia is talking about from real life. And last year, when I was in my 57 and decided to go back to international, and the market changed so much, because for 14 years I've been in Cyprus, like I said, hibernating in Cyprus, because I moved here and it was my first marriage, and also I needed to create my work and my community around me. And after all that was established and solid, I was saying to Michael that my wings were itching and they needed to go
Yes.
again. And I went back to international, and you know how is it to work in a language that is not your mother language, etc. And people will tell me, but how do you do it? I mean, how is it at your age? I'm saying, which age? You know, I have the energy. And what do you mean? You know, and then Michael and I, when there is party, are the first one who start dancing and the last one who's gonna leave that. And it's such a, it's like vibration, the rhythm and the movement. And we don't have to be in a school or to do it perfect. What we need is just give ourselves the chance to expose ourselves, isn't it?
Well, to enjoy.
And to joy, yeah.
Better said that, it is enjoying and it is acknowledging, all our senses.
Yeah.
In Western society, we are only limited to 5 senses. In indigenous communities, they say we have 22 senses.
Can you tell us about that?
So we have 22 senses that have to do with creativity, with intuition, with perception, with lots of things that a human being has not yet developed because, you are just, we have, like for example, the dances are taught to enhance the 3 basic memories, which are visual, auditive, and kinesthetic memory. Many people say, oh, I am just auditive. Oh, I am just visual. No, you have to have, multiple intelligence. So the abilities of multiple intelligence have to do with these 22 senses. So your intelligence cannot be limited to 5 senses. So for that reason, also learning our dances is very difficult because you are entering in parts of the brain that you have not explored before, and you are like, don't wanting to do it or wanting to do it. No, for that particular reason, we have had a lot of success with Down syndrome children, or with dyslexia, with lack of concentration. Also,
with ADHD, you have a lot of success.
Of course, and also, with any kind of addiction, drug, game, alcohol, whatever. And we also have worked with the specific groups on what we call elders, and we have revigorized them, make them young again in a way that they recuperate movement, that they recuperate, because sitting
flexibility,
there, exactly, doing there nothing. Of course, nobody cares if you move a leg or you move an arm or nothing. While if we come and we show them how to do it, they will do it and they will become alive again, instead of just sitting there and waiting to die. No, that is very common in the Latin countries, at 40 years you think you are old. Oh my goodness. But no, not in the indigenous communities. I have seen women over 90 years who are better dancers than me or any young girl. And when one of these elders comes to dance, the whole community gets so excited. Because it's wonderful to see that you are ageless, that your age is not in your body, is not in your mind. It is this connection with everything surrounding you, with all the snakes around you.
Yeah. So for that we're saying now, I'm saying I'm 58 years young.
Of course, you are just born. You are 6 years old, darling.
You see?
I am a teenager. So
I can see that.
That's the way in our communities, in our culture, we say that oral tradition comes from the heart. Like you see, I am
oral tradition.
Oral tradition. It is inherited from great-great-grandparents to their grandchildren. So I am an anthropologist, and I wanted to have the knowledge, And of course they said, no, we are tired of everybody writing about us, giving their ideas, and that is not our way of life. Our way of life is very different, and if you want to learn, come and dance with us. I said, oh, of course, I love dance, but I realized then as a psychoanalyst, when I was starting to dance, how difficult it is because you are not used to learn by just observing, listening, doing. You are trained to learn by repeating, by reading, by your mind, Everything has to come from your thoughts. And this is from the heart. And so I learned that in a way, even if I wanted to have this knowledge, I had like a superiority idea of myself because I had PhDs, because I'm a linguist, because I have traveled all over the world, and I know so many things, and I have 4 careers and everything. And I realized that, just repeating one step was very difficult if I was not able to calm down and be equal with them. Just equal. We are all the same all over the world. We have different color of skin. We have different locations, north, east, west, south. But the most precious thing that we have is breathing. And you are an expert on breathing. So breathing is the most precious thing that we have. After breathing, of course, we have hydration. We have water. We are 70% water. So we have to hydrate ourselves. And then the third and most valuable thing is not food. The third and most valuable thing is sleep, relax, be in harmony with everything. That is most important than food. And the fourth one is food. So this is the way we are taught. This is the way, we have to learn to honor our breathing, to honor water that we drink. And the water surrounding us, our planet is surrounded by water. We come out from the womb, which is water, into the earth. And so for that, these techniques of rebirthing are so important because they reconnect you with this memory. We all have the memory to breathe under the water. And when you recuperate that memory, it's a fantastic feeling. And so all these teachings were very important to me, and I learned them through the dance circles. It was very important, and also the way you know your body, because we are used to walking with the sole of the feet.
Yeah.
But what about the external part of the feet, and the internal part of the feet, and the heel, and the toes, So you have to learn to walk again. And that is beautiful.
I have to say I find it quite difficult, and the coordination. But it doesn't matter, as we are so young. I have plenty of time to learn.
And good teachers.
And of course, good teacher. But I have this idea about myself that when I'm in a group like this, I just don't have to look to the others, just to the teacher. Because if I compare myself to the other, usually I'm the last one of the coordination.
Exactly.
And then I do not regret, but I do remember that people like me who we didn't have sport skill, we escaped always from sport. It's like our body coordination. I have amazing mental coordination and connection with others, but then when it comes to, I see dancing, I love dancing. I see dancing and I see drumming, and I go into drumming and to coordinate the hand. Gosh, I suffer. But doesn't matter, we have time.
But now you are teaching rhythm.
Yeah,
rhythm, that's the secret, that's the real secret.
And each one of us has a rhythm. Sometimes my rhythm is slow, but what I wanted to say is that I have a rhythm. And what was important in my case is to acknowledge and recognize that I have a rhythm, very unique rhythm. And then if I honor that and acknowledge that, of course I can follow other rhythms.
And you said something very important. That is the one thing that all people should learn. Concentrate on yourself. Center yourself. Don't compare yourself with the others. Because, if you start comparing yourself and you think that they are doing better, they are doing it wrong. And you lost, that part that you had centered in yourself because you think that the others are much better than you and that the others are doing better. And no,
they are doing wrong.
Exactly. If you just follow the teacher, if you just copy what the teacher is doing, that is the first degree of observation. And then you come to concentration. Then you are paying attention. You are not dancing for anybody but for you, which is very important. And you let the others do as better or as worse as they can. That is, you said one of the basic things that I have not been able to transmit to all the people who dance with me. Please dance with yourself.
Yeah.
Okay? Concentrate in yourself Concentrate yourself in repeating exactly what the teacher is teaching you. Forget about the others. But it is very difficult. You know?
I learned that lesson early age because I'm quite bright in psychology, literature, whatever is like philosophy. And I'm terrible when it's related to numbers, manuals. Like I can't follow a manual, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I used to get these kind of, approval, disapproval, yeah?
Oh.
Like, oh, she's bright. Oh,
Yeah.
she's so dumb. And then I start copying that in myself.
Of course.
And of course, the criticism will be bigger than the other one, and the fear and the comparison. And then in that way, we would lose what is beautiful in us. And one of the things I teach is about how to center and focus in the beautiful part of your quality. Because if you honor them and you observe them, then those going to help the other one that are lower.
Exactly.
And not make that division between what is the best, what is the worst. Take away that division and let's absorb and accept the self as a whole. And then we dance with the self in that way. Yeah?
Perfect, darling. Yes. Perfect.
Well,
I wish they would understand exactly what you are saying.
We'll work together.
Yes,
and
darling.
I do it with this way and you do it with the dancing.
Yes, I show the dance and you tell them what to do.
Yes. I'm so happy. And Marina, I know you're listening to this and hopefully we'll have Patricia with us in the as you can see. The stardust is all over her. And hopefully we can have her in one of her trips. We can catch her in London or in some other place where we are doing our work together. And this is our program, the Feminine Capital Rhythm in Radio W.O.R.K.S world. And wherever you are in the world, I tell you goodbye for now and hope to see you very soon again. Bye-bye, Patricia.
Bye. Come to dance with me in Mexico or anywhere in the world. I travel all over the world.
Bye for now.